Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today I have a book review, and Whovians and Sherlock fans, mark this one down. You are going to love it. So today I'm going to sort of review / just gush about a book that I have recently fallen in love with. And that is the Jackaby books by William Ritter, featuring Jacobi and the Beastly Bones, which is book 1 and 2, which I have read both of. I also read the Jacobi 1.5 novella, which was free on Amazon for Kindle. So if you want to pick up the novella, it is free right now, and it is called The Map. The Jacobi books is about a young woman named Abigail Brooke who decided to take matters into her own hands and find herself adventure in her life. She is the daughter of a world-renowned paleontologist, and as a little girl always longed to go on archaeological digs and find dinosaur bones with her father. Her mother, on the other hand, had the idea of raising her into the proper young lady of British society that she was supposed to be. But Abigail rejected that idea and wanted adventure. I'm not even too sure 100% what the era is that it is set in, but it is in that Sherlock time period set in New England, United States. Upon jumping on a boat randomly in England and arriving randomly in New Fiddleham, New England, Abigail is needing a job and a place to stay. While in the post office, she discovers a very peculiar job posting for an assistant to the detective of the paranormal. And whatever you do, do not stare at the frog. Curious and in need of a job and wanting adventure, she applies and meets R.F. Jacobi, detective to the paranormal. Jacobi is somebody with a second sight known as a seer. With his second sight, he can see the paranormal world around him. He can see fae creatures, mythological creatures, just creatures of legend that you and I would just wipe off as fantasy. Jacobi is seen as an eccentric and sometimes crazy man that nobody takes seriously. The entire police force has kind of written him off. The public kind of thinks he's crazy, except for those that he has legitimately helped with his sight. And Abigail gets pulled along on a murder investigation, meeting some interesting people, some incredible people, and some incredible beings along the way. The first book, Jacobi, is the kickoff to this entire crazy adventure, and it was amazing. I don't mind paranormal and magical realms if it is kept in that fantastical realm. If it's too realistic, too demonic, and too real-life application, I don't normally enjoy it if it gets really dark and demonic. But in this case, this is the type of paranormal that you would see on a Doctor Who episode that stays in that fantastical, fictional realm. This book is a great adventure from start to finish. It is a great pacing. It has fantastic characters. Jacobi is, you're literally watching a Sherlock mixed with the 10th Doctor, and the character development was great. Even with a fast-paced book, you had fantastic character development and plot development. In this story, Jacobi and Abigail are tracing this murder that seems to have a lot more to him than what the police think it does. Abigail meets several interesting characters along the way, including some not so physical ones. Jacobi's landlady is in fact a ghost who formerly owned the house. Another resident of the house is Douglas, his former assistant, who is in fact a mallard duck. Douglas may be small, but he is very meticulous and has a great amount of attitude for a mallard duck. So with this serious murder mystery plot going along, you have this zany, weird world kind of mixed in between, and I just found it fantastic. Absolutely loved it. The second book again had fantastic story plotline, had a very action-packed story plotline without losing the storyline and losing the character development. You still had those amazing characters and meeting some more amazing side characters. What I like about William Ritter's writing is his side characters have great development as much as Abigail and Jacobi do. The side characters were easy to decipher between who was speaking and what was happening to who. You had a great connection with the side characters and what was happening to them as well as your main characters. I think the best attribute of William Ritter's writing is his buildup of a plot line. So you start in the first book with this dark murder mystery with this dark paranormal element to it. It wasn't too dark, but it still had a pretty dark storyline to this murder mystery, and then it kind of gave you an idea and a taste of what Jacobi kind of deals with on a darker side of things, while still having those zany things to keep it lighter. The second book starts off with what could be another dark murder mystery. So with following that dark murder mystery plotline, they end up outside of New Fiddleham following Leeds. But that dark murder mystery plotline kind of explodes and segues into this fantastical adventure that nobody saw coming, and you couldn't even see what was going to happen next. You just wanted to know what happened next. It just carried on and kind of exploded around you. Yet, so subtly, he wrote in this like underlying sinister plot that kind of was the mastermind behind everything. You didn't even really catch up that strongly on that underlying mastermind plot line until the end of the book, where it kind of pushes you and leads you into the next book, which is not out yet. So it kind of has that great build up for the third book, and the books flow together so well, but at the same time stay very strong in their own storyline. And that to me is just great writing. It was well done, well played. Absolutely loved it. I would also guarantee it a clean read. There is very little swearing in it. Any swearing that is in it is very historically time frame kind of based and culturally based. So it's not just swearing for the sake of swearing, but it's how they would have spoken in that time period, those type of people who would have been saying those words. So it's not just swearing for the sake of throwing swear words in a book. It's very historically and culturally based swearing, which is a type that doesn't bother me. So that's why I kind of say it's a little mild on the language wise. There is absolutely nothing sexual or romantic at all in these books, so it is very clean on that end of the books. I would give a heads up if you are sensitive to anything paranormal in the way of ghosts and mythological beings on the darker side. So if you are sensitive to that or have convictions of that, I'd give a heads up. But like I said, it's nothing that you wouldn't find on Merlin or Doctor Who or any of those BBC shows that have that mythological, fantastical plot lines to them. I also read the novella, which is called The Map, and it is a little side story with no murder mystery or anything. It's just kind of a day off for Jacobi and Abigail. It is Abigail's birthday, and Jacobi has this interesting idea planned for a fun birthday adventure. Abigail and Jacobi end up following this almost childish map on a great whimsical and fun adventure. Abigail learns that it is not the destination, but the journey that you take to that destination that is sometimes the greatest adventure. For the first Jackaby book, I did give it a 4-star rating just because it was a little darker on the paranormal side. I gave book 2, The Beastly Bones, a 5-star rating because it was just so fantastic, and I liked the way it wrapped up in the end and kind of had that lead on into the next book. And of course, the novella, Jackaby 1.5, The Map, I gave a 5-star rating to because it was another one of those zany, fun, fantastical adventures. So again, in summary, fantastical, great zany adventures, fantastic characters, amazing writing, and guaranteed a clean read. I've already recommended this book and told people on BookTube and people in real life to bump this up on their TBRs if they have it, because it was just a great read. You will probably see the third book on my next anticipated releases video, as well as I do intend on actually purchasing Jackaby and the Beastly Bones. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for sticking with me with this gushy, ranting, sort of unstructured review of the Jackaby books by William Ritter. As always, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. I post a lot of what I find more in depth of the books on Goodreads. So if you see books there that I have read and you want to actually full review of it, you can let me know there on Goodreads. And of course, Twitter and Instagram are always great ways to chat with me and get to know me as well. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!